You're tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at bringingdowntheband.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, and Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the New Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Episode 109 of the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. I make beats, have the hard job to prove it. I do want that smoke. Longevity directly in front of me. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you, as always.
You too.
I see the Bring Down the Band mug. I see you.
Of course.
Marketing. Speaking of marketing, DJ Jay Diff.
Salutations.
How are you? Good, sir.
I'm great.
I see you print-fitting it out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I like your swag today, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what's up. You know, we got to show those companies love, man. We're going to get to the sponsors in a little bit. To my immediate left, the incomparable DJ Spoolz.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Spoolz. As always, I got to give credit where credit is due. I see you fresh to death with the 77 Montana jersey on.
That's right.
Your team is undefeated, sir.
12-0, man. Finished the regular season undefeated. First time since 2012.
Looks like they have a chance, a very, very good chance of being in the, what Shannon Sharp calls the Alabama Invitational.
That's pretty. I never heard him say that, but that's really accurate at this
Accurate.
But
Dinner mug.
they
Dinner
should
mug.
be in, man. Yeah.
You gotta
see
be-
what happens Saturday. There's some good games. The SEC championship, Big Ten championship, Big 12 championship,
Man, that Big Ten
ACC
championship was sad.
Michigan got touched.
That wasn't the championship.
I know,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah.
They got touched.
Yeah, that Michigan game was pretty bad.
You know who they got touched by?
Nope.
They got touched by Ohio State.
They got touched by an angel.
Yeah.
Was that Haskins? Is that their quarterback?
I think he had 5 touchdowns. Haskins.
he's
Was it 5 or
good.
6?
I forgot.
He's extremely good.
He had the thing on cruise control at that, like Spool said, pretty much through the, we were talking about this prior to coming on. At the end of the third, somewhat, maybe the latter portion of the third quarter was still somewhat of a game, but fourth quarter, man, they blew the doors off of them.
Man.
Yeah, that shit hurt, man.
Harbaugh's 0-4 against Ohio State.
Goddamn Ohio State.
He's a golden boy, though. They're not going to fire
Buckeyes.
him, Spools. I think he's not. I think he's nowhere near the hot seat, in my opinion.
He's inching towards it.
Getting close.
Yeah.
I'm saving him is that he went to Michigan, probably.
That's a huge factor.
Yeah, oh yeah. But they lost to 2 really good teams this year. They lost the first game of the year to Notre Dame, who's currently number 3 in the country and undefeated, and then they lost to Ohio State. So, it's not like Jim Harbaugh's a bad football coach. He's an extremely good football coach, but he hasn't seemed to be able to take them yet over that hump. So
My question would be, how long is his leash? Because they're 0-4, right? And we know Michigan. To me, Michigan is I don't know if overrated is the correct phrase because they are a storied franchise, but
they're not overrated. No.
I think their fan base elevates them higher than what they should be. Like, to me, Alabama's a way better collegiate program across the board than Michigan. To me,
That's
but Michigan
clear across the board, though.
No, it's not, though, because some Michigan fans will tell you Michigan is a better program across the board than
I'm a Michigan
Alabama.
fan, and I'm not going to tell
Thank
you
you for
that
keeping it in the
Michigan
buck,
is
sir.
a better program than Alabama.
I'm a Notre Dame fan. Notre Dame has benefited a lot from their fan base. Like,
True.
The running joke about them years ago was that they were, no matter what, they're going to be ranked in the top 25, probably in the top 15,
Right.
and lose the first 2 out of the first 4 games and fall out. Like, that was and they did. But last 10 years, I think, have been, especially the last, I'd say 8, have been really good for Notre Dame. And I don't know, man. I would love to see somebody beat Alabama.
Yeah.
Not to be a hater. That's really cool. It's cool to watch them play. They're phenomenal. They're really fun to watch play. They're great football team. But
I think it would be dope for sports if somebody knocked them off. So
If Bobby Boucher was still playing, they would beat Alabama.
I see.
sorry,
you.
guys.
I see. you.
Depends. They'll probably be, if they beat Georgia. I think they played Georgia in the SEC championship game.
That is
Saturday.
correct.
They'll be the number 1 seed. So the 1 plays the 4 and the 2 plays the 3. December 29th. Side note, great that it's not New Year's Eve this year. They did that a couple years ago. So,
Good call.
but So if Alabama's the 1, Notre Dame could, right now they're number 3. They could be the 3 or the 4. So if they're the 4, they have to play Alabama first, which would not be cool.
Well,
rather that not happen.
We shall see. Hey, Long. Watch some of these games, man. I'm telling you.
No, I'm not interested.
I feel you.
No.
Just try it, man. Try it.
I think we need to. Terry and I talked about this last week. Remember when you and Brad talked about the separate sports segment where you guys chalked up like just talking about like straight sports for like segments and stuff?
Yeah.
I feel like that might be a cool little segment as well.
Okay.
I just mean in general because these things could go a lot longer than what they do go, and you know.
I like
Skip.
your I like your I like your energy right now. He's a tad bit foolish for me right now, but I like your energy. I'm focusing on you.
No, that's
I've
nothing to do with you.
Okay.
No,
I've just been playing with audio levels, trying to make sure everything's sounding good. That's all.
I apologize, man. Spoolz get to going on this sports, man. It's all good. I apologize. Red August is in the building as well. Make sure you pay that brother for,
works rendered.
Things out in the park. He does family reunions.
Bus station shots.
Yeah, he'll shoot you at the bus station.
Bar mitzvahs.
Yeah, he'll do those.
Hand holding.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Quinceañeras.
Yeah, he'll do that. He'll take your picture at a bar.
In the street.
Yeah, in the snow. Snow today. So
with leaves.
Yeah, pay that man.
With green eggs and ham.
Yeah. That boy's bad, man. Pay that man. Shout out to the sponsors. Coleman Dental, 317-255-8546. Shout out to Dr. Coleman. Make sure you get your teeth is right. BringingDownTheBand.com, as always, is the hub. Printfinity supports your local businesses. They got that merch, graphic design out here in the high schools. My man out here getting it in.
Hey, Warren won state last week, by the way.
Oh, shout out to Warren.
Congrats to Warren.
Shout out to Warren.
They did. Undefeated. First team in Indiana history to have a girls basketball team, a boys basketball team, and the boys football team all win state from the same school. Same calendar year.
Warren is out in these streets.
Sounds like white privilege.
Wow. I like what he did.
I don't know. There's not a whole lot of white people on those teams.
That's the irony.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Indie CD and Vinyl as well. They have been taking care of us for our raffles when they laced us with some. We had a good raffle today. Exclusive joint, man. It's Roy's joint. I don't think I think we talked about this earlier. I don't think they're printing this anymore. It's a double album. I think one of the records is red, and there's a download joint on the inside as well. Like, this is a limited print, and they laced us for this for our raffle for our patron.
Limited just for Black Friday.
Yes.
Record Store Day. So they got that and gave it to us, as well as a cool exclusive Record Store Day glow in the dark slip mat. So
shout out to No Bad Ideas as well. They laced us as always. This world hat is kind of fly. It's got their signature pen on it as well. This is kind of dope. So I think we raffled this off as well.
Yeah, both of those. So check our Patreon if you would like to sign up for those. I'd be on those. I'm gonna put it back here so you can see the logo.
Oh yeah. We got some cool things.
New old head.
But planned for the Patreon in the future.
And if you're watching, make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Please.
So you get notified.
And show somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, share. Click and share. That's what we need.
Yeah.
We got to go. I think we're trying to get to, 500 by the end of the...
That was the goal earlier this year.
Early goal. Okay.
We're not quite there, but
we appreciate everyone that is contributing, though.
Yeah, I was over at my guy's house for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And his parents said they watch it on TV.
I like that.
They always be like, yeah, I seen you on TV. Okay.
I like that. Well, we appreciate y'all watching as well, so that's what's up. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in for, I don't know what's going on back there. I need to see.
He was playing guitar with like an AK.
Okay. Well, first topic, you guys showed me a video on this one we were watching prior to coming on. Hoover, Alabama is the site. It says police in Alabama promised transparency Monday after a weekend of protests in response to an officer who fatally shot an African-American man who pulled out his legally permitted weapon following gunfire that happened at a shopping mall. The police initially described the officer as heroic for bringing down E.J. Bradford Jr.
Not the officer.
It says Hoover police initially described the officer as...
Oh, you're right.
Heroic, yeah. After two people were wounded in the River Chase Galleria Mall outside of Birmingham. It turns out that young man was not the gunman. He has since passed away, and he was a 21-year-old veteran. So here we go with the mistakes, quote unquote. Again, this is crazy, man, that we have to continue to, go through these.
So they didn't acknowledge it? Was that part of the story?
Initially, they didn't, and then it turned into almost like a backtrack, like, oh yeah, we may have, made a mistake.
They pretty much made it like he was the assailant.
Yep.
And he was actually trying to mediate the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the second time within a month, I believe. I mean, you can't be a good guy and be black with a pistol out here.
Fact.
So if you draw your pistol trying to, rectify a situation or whatever, unfortunately, it's probably not a good idea if you're melanated. Because that's exactly what happened. He was home for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Visiting his family. I think his dad is a cop too.
I'd have to fact check that.
That might be wrong.
Yeah, I'd have to fact check that.
It's crazy that that has to happen, and they took him down saying that he was this person that they were looking for. Yeah. And he was just pretty much just trying to help them. So
it's sad, especially when you think about not only a veteran, but we all can remember what 21 was, right? So that's anytime somebody dies, that's not something to celebrate. But the kid hadn't even lived yet. Like he's, just enlisted and he's in the Army and he's fresh out of high school a couple years ago. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I just hope those same people that are outraged about kneeling and everything else that's going on are outraged about that too. Because that fits that same mode that everybody's trying to protect. You know what I'm saying? So
let's be consistent.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a young man in Chicago that was similar. I know you said there was something that within the last month, the guy that got shot in Chicago.
Yeah, the security guard.
Security guard. Same situation. Mistaken identity or whatever you want to call it. But
they actually told the cops when they got on the scene that he worked there.
He worked there, yeah. Yeah, man. So yet and still there
goes to Terry's point though.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
He said be careful if you're melanated and have a gun.
Yeah.
Even if you're in the right. So
and we've talked about this extensively over the past episodes, and we've talked about every angle from the training and lack thereof. We've already been over this.
It's definitely been covered.
Yeah, it's definitely been covered, but it's just sad to continue to see it. I didn't mean to fade you out here, Spoolz. Jump in if you got anything to say on that.
No, man. I'd like to see if I don't think the NRA has spoken out in either case, and I think it would make sense for them to, and I think that they won't, and it just kind of also continues to go to prove that there does seem to be to Terry's point, definitely a higher chance of something happening to you if you are black and you rightfully own a gun and take it out. So,
yeah.
Again, would love to hear the NRA speak up about this person or both these folks who lost their lives but were rightful gun owners and were in both cases trying to protect people, which is what the NRA, one of the main points of what the NRA fights for, or as far as the reasoning behind people, people should own guns and why these laws should remain in place. So, and not be more strict. So, but yeah, man, it's just, again, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, to your point, Spoolz, I'd be curious to see it as well.
I could be wrong. I don't think the NRA has said anything or spoken out. I've looked
not to my knowledge.
A bit.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. I haven't.
I haven't really seen them say anything about a lot, honestly.
Yeah. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Based off any time that we've talked about it, I don't think there's been an additional article that spoke to them releasing a statement or anything like that. So I don't know, man, but prayers to that young man's family. The video that we actually saw had I'm assuming it was the lawyer right inside mother and father, and she had a picture of the young man, with his service photo with the flag in the background. It's crazy, man. It says a lot when you get a chance to see that.
This is
the
America.
optics of that. This is America.
So do you think, just really quick, do you think that maybe I don't want to say racially motivated because I don't necessarily think this was racially motivated, but do you think race has something to do with the fact that he decided to shoot this person, or just maybe felt like that was the person that was doing it because that person was black?
From what I've read about the situation, yes, I think it does. I mean, in these situations in general too. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, in my opinion, I think it is.
I think it's a mixture of both. It's a mixture of that and people just being careless and not trying to assess the situation before they start firing. You know what I'm saying? Because you can kind of, and that kind of goes into the conversation we've all had about training.
Training, yep.
You know, figure out what's going on before you know what I'm saying, shoot first and ask questions last.
And I think there's a in terms of the word assess, I think that's the perfect word for it. I would just expand it and say assessing the situation versus fully assessing the situation, because people are quick. They're quick. And I think a lot of you've talked about this a lot too. I've heard you say in the past, Lone, about sometimes people are operating out of fear. Like it's just genuine. It's like I don't know what to do. I'm just reacting fast, which goes back to the training and all of it. Just, it all circles back around.
It could be training, and then it's past prejudices and biases that
Facts.
are underlined that may not be on the surface and stuff like that.
And I've always been a firm believer that those easily could creep in to someone's mental when it's time to make those mistakes.
It's a subconscious fear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not even actually be planning on doing something, but subconsciously, that's where their mind is.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I'm saying? So
I'm a firm believer in that. I'm sorry, go ahead, Lone.
No, I was going to say, it kind of goes along with the argument a little bit that racism isn't necessarily blatant, especially nowadays. It's nuanced, so that subconscious that you're not conscious of doesn't mean that you don't have those biases there, so.
Yeah. But I would agree.
Because there actually was another incident like a week or so ago where a young man was killed actually putting his hands up and getting down on the ground. I don't know if y'all saw that one.
I didn't peep. I'll be honest, I didn't peep.
There was another incident.
That? Do you know?
I don't remember exactly. I don't have other details on that, but I do know he was shot while he was getting down, unarmed man.
Crazy thing about that,
I think he might have been like, he definitely was a teenager. I do know that.
Crazy thing about that, I'm not surprised about that either. With the situation that you just described, I'm not surprised.
I mean, to this point, it's kind of hard to be surprised at any of it.
True. All right. So, again, condolences to that young man's family. Let's go ahead and jump into a little music. Shout out to Memphis, North Memphis, South Memphis, Beale Street,
Orange Mound. Jay Moore say what the county seat.
Yeah,
and adjacent.
Shout out to Philly, North Philly, South Philly, suburbs, metropolitan, Beans. We see you. Freeway.
Shout out to Creed.
Shout out
Rocky
to
Balboa.
Shout out to Meek them. O'Malley them. We see y'all.
Like the band?
No.
Apollo Creed?
Apollo Creed.
Shout out to all
and
that.
Adonis Creed.
Yeah.
Ain't that his name?
Yeah.
All right.
We love Philly.
Shouts to Jimmy Butler.
You don't rock with Creed?
The band?
Yeah.
Not particularly.
I thought that was your favorite.
No, not anymore, man.
Okay.
That was
I gotta check.
Nope.
I gotta check
Don't know
Creed
too many.
out.
Don't know any Creed albums or.
You don't have to check Creed out.
I don't have to check them out.
Nah.
No, you don't.
Okay, I'm gonna take y'all word for
Let
it.
that one go.
You can pass.
Shout out to Jimmy Butler too. Hit 2 big clutch jumpers for Philly too, man.
That's nice. He had 2 jump shots.
Clutch jump shots. Definitely hit 2 clutch jump shots.
Look at him doing his job.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jimmy, man.
Was he playing defense too?
He was. Jimmy played. Yeah.
Oh man.
Jimmy got sold.
Jimmy got so. Hey, Jimmy Butler, he'd give Terry 30 right now.
Huh?
Easy.
He better give me 30 in the NBA. Shit. He better give me 50.
You trying to tell me Jimmy Butler's doing his job?
He's doing his job.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Acting quite well too. He's no issues.
Yeah. Well.
I'd love to see.
How many points would he give you, Mike?
About 30.
About 30.
Yeah. I'm gonna foul him. I don't know what you gonna do. I'm gonna foul him once he start killing me.
Is it for money?
Huh?
Is it for money or is it just for fun?
Just for recreational.
I'm not even gonna play.
I'm not giving him any money.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
I'm
recreation.
saying I'm not putting up anything.
I mean, if he wants
if I can win the game, I win some money.
I'm saying
then I'll put some effort into it.
I'm saying in an open gym setting, he'll give Terry 30 if Terry had to guard him.
He would.
So
what?
That's just how I feel about it.
Well, all right.
That's how I feel. All right. So, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
That's first up.
Yeah, he apparently pled not guilty to federal racketeering on firearms charges this past Monday. His bail was denied, and his trial date was set for September 4th. At this point, it appears he may stay behind bars until the jury renders a verdict.
That's
September
awful.
4th of 2019.
Yeah, that's 10 months.
10 months from now.
Man.
Also, he had an album that was supposed to come out. This is right around
Tuesday.
the time the feds came out and got him.
Came out Tuesday.
Yeah, they had to release it because it was leaked. It was supposed to go through Capitol Music Group, but somebody leaked it, so now it is on all streaming services and platforms. Dummy Boy, I believe, is the album. Love that title. How appropriate is that? It's fitting, isn't it?
So mean.
Yeah. So, I got a question.
Okay.
I wish I could throw something that long. Check this out. So, I'm coming to you, Spoolz. In terms of 6ix9ine, right? In today's era, with him, it's sounding like there's a chance that he might just go ahead and just tell on all the Treyway guys or whatever and find his way to possibly get out of jail at a later point. Do you think this dude's career is a wrap if he were ever to try to find his way to be able to weasel out of this, and would he still be able to come back out and make music, or does the no snitching code, does that follow rap like it used to when we were coming up?
I think that this day and age, he probably could still have a career. Yes.
Interesting.
I think the no snitching stuff, to my understanding, it still exists, but not to the degree it used to. I will say this though: there are people who have been accused of snitching by rappers who were also rappers themselves, and they're not. You don't hear much from them anymore.
Okay.
One example would be that 𝐷𝗲𝗍 guy from
T.I.'s camp.
From T.I.'s camp.
I don't even remember him.
Yeah,
Check
big
that
dude used to
story
be
out.
with
It's
T.I.,
it's
yeah.
interesting. But anyway, to answer your question, no, I don't. Or yes, I do think that he could still have a career.
I don't see. My thing with this kid is at this point, everything that happens now, to me, there's a chance it could be trolling. So when I heard all of this, I was like, all right.
I don't think this Fed trial.
The Fed
trolling.
the Fed joint was the first time where I was like, all right, so this one is probably gonna be real.
Well, here's the thing that I heard too about his trial. Like, so that when he went in, so he pled not guilty.
Yep.
Trials, and like Mike said, it's in September. But I guess when he was sitting in court, he didn't look at the rest of his co-defendants the whole time.
Yep.
Like no eye contact, nothing at all. So that's not a good sign. I'm not saying that's a sign that he's definitely going to tell on anybody by any means, but it's not a good sign.
His manager definitely said in the court too that we don't fold.
That we don't fold.
Treyway.
As he was walking out, yeah.
Yeah.
So something's gonna have to give. Somebody's gonna have to say something. So
somebody is saying something. I'm not saying it's Tekashi. I mean, he might be.
They said today that there was, or they said whenever this trial happened, or this little pre-trial, whatever happened, that they do have an informant.
Uh-oh. Well,
that's not a good look for him. I mean, we've already kind of discussed that, but I mean, I gave his album some spin because I'm a glutton for punishment, so I always listen to some shit.
Go ahead and elaborate on the depth of that. Thank you.
Some interesting features, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a feature on every single song. So he's got A Boogie with the hoodie.
Okay.
He's got Kanye.
Yeah.
He's got Nicki Minaj. He's got a Spanish cat singing because he has a couple Spanish songs on there too.
I'm not mad at that.
I said Nicki already. Some other cats too, but anyway, there's a song in particular where he's talking about shooting and not saying anything, and then talking about somebody else that pretty much calling out snitches.
Oh,
so I mean, I'm not saying he is, and it's just an interesting situation for him. And Van Jones, is that his name on TMZ?
No, Van Jones
is on
CNN.
What's the cat on?
Oh, you talking about the dude, the main guy, guy TMZ?
Not the other dude, the one that was getting at Kanye.
I can't call his name. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, he was calling TMZ out. He was like, because y'all pretty much incriminating dude, and we don't know what's going on. And they're like, well, we're just reporting it.
Shout out to academics.
Yeah.
He's a cornball.
He's always
backpedaling.
Well. So he had all that shit he's putting up about Tekashi, and then he puts that what nobody talks about, all the stuff, good stuff he's done, and this, that, and the other. He's always trying to play both sides of the coin.
Shout out to Mike's on destroying that dude as well.
Academics sucks,
Live.
dude.
Man. I want him on the show. Can we get him on the show somehow?
All he gonna do is repost the video from him being on our show and tell on us, and we ain't even doing nothing wrong.
Ain't did shit.
So whatever. But yeah, man, I'll be curious to see how this goes. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. Some music drop. We can talk about some music, and also we can go into some questions from the fam and the community. Also,
we had a couple other things that we had on our list, didn't we?
What we got? What did I miss? Because I had the questions from the community. I had 3 albums actually, 3 joints that came out.
Touch
am
on
I missing
those.
anything? Maybe I'm missing something.
We'll figure it out as we talk about this.
I mean, there was the climate thing that came out on Friday.
You can run that one. I'm not that well versed on that. I'll be honest. I just saw the video.
It's just a report came out that's from even more climate scientists that says that climate change is actually a real thing and it actually is man-made, and even people in Trump's White House says that it's a real thing, and Trump still says it's not a real thing or an issue. So it's just more of the same. I guess realistically, I guess I just covered it. So
Science doesn't matter.
Science isn't real.
Yeah. Fake news probably, right?
Well,
I've heard the argument. Even I heard a very interesting argument that because Al Gore apparently bamboozled people a long time ago about global warming and said that things were going to happen in 14 years and we were going to blah blah blah. That means that it's not real.
Oh, because
people
Al Gore,
do realize that they can do their own research and
you
read.
can, yeah.
I
rather
just don't
than
get
just,
it, man.
I don't either. I mean, it's out there.
I mean,
We
is
all know
it
what's going on.
just willful ignorance at this point?
Pretty much?
Or
Yep, for the most part. Yep.
because
That's
you have
what
the
I'm
choice to look it up. I mean, do you really not trust 95% of scientists? What's the argument? Scientists want to be famous. I don't. What's the?
Yeah, today it would be classified as them clout chasing. Scientists are clout chasing.
Classified
It's
as
a big issue
ignorance.
in our society.
You got 100 people.
All these scientists been clout chasing.
You got 99. Let's just say 99 people are saying it happens, and then one person says it doesn't. So we're going to go with that one person that said it doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much where we're at.
especially when it's scientists. I mean, who are they?
Dummy boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The president was 45. Was like
He was a reality
I don't
star.
believe it. I don't believe it. People that
Who
rock with
became
people
our
that rock with
president?
me believe it, but I don't believe it.
Yeah.
It's probably my number one issue in all politically, in general, is climate stuff. So it's kind of a big deal.
Well,
So if you think I would just say look it up. If you don't believe it,
do your research. Do your
some
homework.
research.
I'd like to hear, and I'm not being like an asshole when I'm saying this, but I'd really like to hear the legitimate reasons, if there are any, behind why people don't believe any of this stuff at all. But if you believe like what the earth is made of and like the layers of gases that cover it and things like that, and you don't think like industrialization and all that stuff for the last whenever that's
Last
100 and some odd years,
yeah.
150 years has like just destroyed that, because there's been and all the water and
Polar
I just
caps
don't-
melting.
yeah, I would just like,
Water
I mean,
spots
just as a
drying up.
result of all that stuff that I just said before. I mean, I would like to hear something legit if something does exist.
It sounds like something that would be on the Jimmy
feel
Kimmel
free.
show when he goes out and he asks people questions
Yeah.
in the streets,
Yeah.
and they can never really answer the question because that
Right.
sounds exactly like what would happen.
If someone's listening to this and does have that, please post, add a comment. Thanks.
I don't know if he did it. I'm just saying it's something he should do.
I mean, most of the
Yeah.
arguments I see are just like what I said.
It's all political.
It's like political based on Al Gore, or there's other ones that say, well, we're just a blip in time. Could we really cause that much damage in 100 years? And the answer is yes.
Mhm.
The Al Gore joint is funny.
The Al Gore one's really funny
Science
fun.
is pretty awesome
because
guys.
it's irrelevant. But I mean, yeah, in the last 100, I mean, that's us. That's what we did. That's
Science.
humans.
Always trying
Science,
to be
baby.
first, industrial. I mean, other countries are doing it as well because you have classifications of countries.
That's another argument.
So
okay.
When you have these other countries, they're pretty much trying to catch up to what the United States has done already.
Right.
So they allow a lot of bullshit get sent over to them for them to pretty much house and destroy or whatever they end up doing with this stuff. But then they're trying to come up and industrialize more too. And in turn, they have all of that stuff in their area, climate, whatever, and it's destroying it along with all the shit that we sent over there.
Right.
Because they decided to allow it to come in order to pretty much get money backing or, mind you, we owe people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because money isn't really money. That's a whole nother situation too. That might be over a lot of people's head. But there's a lot of stuff that we're doing that in conjunction with what we've already done that is destroying the planet. And if you don't see that, something's really wrong with you. I mean,
another one of the arguments that I heard was that why should we have to, as Americans, like regardless of what we do, we still have China who's polluting and that they're polluting at a high level. So why should we have to do stuff if China's doing it? Like that's a legitimate argument.
It's just dumb.
Like I get it. Yeah, I mean it's I don't know the correct word for it.
Dumb.
I mean it's just it's people. It's a deflecting type attitude or approach, in my opinion. You're not being accountable.
Yeah.
If they're doing it, well, I can do it too. If they're doing it, it's just a real basic, kind of minimal way to
pass the buck.
Yeah,
pass the buck. There you
because you're using China because everybody knows America uses China for a lot of goods that we get. So you want to use them to make it, create the problems over there, but you don't want to acknowledge the problems that we already have over here too. You're saying just because they're doing something, it's okay for us to do it too.
Right.
So the accumulation of both of them is coming from both ends. It has to meet somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So,
and people look at us as leadership around the world too. So there's
that's a fact.
You know, I mean, but yeah. Anyways,
it's true.
Those are some of those questions, some of the answers to that question that you had. So, anyways, we can move on.
All right, so let's jump into a little music.
This is a really cool Master Ace video, by the way.
Shout out to Master Ace, by the way.
I met Master Ace at the airport one time.
Yeah,
in LA.
Awesome. That's really cool.
I had a Source magazine with me, but he wasn't in it.
Juice Crew.
So I just had him sign the front. It was a Bone Thugs and Harmony cover.
Oh,
yeah.
Master Ace was the true part of my childhood. There, shout out to Master Ace. So Black Thought dropped a joint.
What's he doing on it?
Streams of Thought 2. This was produced by Salaam Remi, a Nas collaborator from the past, dude that seems to get labeled as one of the guys that helps Nas pick bad beats. And I listened to it. Black Thought, man, absolutely amazing. Like, he's damn near flawless.
Top tier.
Excuse me, he's damn near flawless from a lyrical standpoint. The production it's all original from what I heard, unless there were some samples in there.
Oh, really?
That they played over the top. Yeah, like it sounds original to me, like it sounds live when you really listen to it. Might have been a couple samples. There was a Marvin Gaye sample at the end, but
I didn't get that vibe from it. But I've only heard it once.
Yeah, there was a couple. There's a lot of instrumentation on there from what I heard, or either that or he picked some dope jazz records on there too. But Black Thought did what he did. Like, it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So I would suggest, if you're a hip hop head, run that one. If you're looking for melodies and all that other shit, don't listen to it.
It's definitely a joint you have to listen to as far as wordplay and lyrics. I mean, I've never really heard a Black Thought song that you can like listen to it for a hot second and turn your head and kind of zone.
Like, you have to pay attention every bar.
He's a bar for bar rapper.
Yeah, like you have to pay attention for every bar.
MC.
So yeah, shout out to Black Thought.
I'm looking forward to listening to that one. I haven't heard it yet. So.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what you think about that one, Spoolz. It's pretty funky.
So much so that he asked me what I thought about it.
I knew you had-
But go ahead. What's going on? What's next?
Benny the Butcher, man. Not is it pronounced Tana Talk 3? Did I say that
I think
right?
so. I believe so. yes.
Okay.
Might be Tana.
Tana Talk, perhaps.
We don't know.
Hey, man,
Tana Talk Trey.
Mm.
Yep.
man.
Yes,
sorry.
Lord.
Yeah, I was thrown off by Terry's phone.
All you gotta do is just keep it moving.
I'm moving. I'm going on. Just threw me
I
off
wouldn't
a
have
little
said if you would have just kept moving, by the way.
bit. Yeah, a little loud. It's all right. We can edit that.
No, we can't now. We've had this conversation.
It sounds good to say we can edit it.
You should see Terry's face right now.
Hey, Benny is a fool though. Griselda shows out every single time.
This is
to
my
me.
favorite Griselda project. I think,
That's
that I've
big.
heard. And I'm not but the thing is, I'm not a huge Griselda like fan like that. Like I like their music, but I don't listen to them. But this is a really good project. Very
Yeah.
solid.
Oh man, talk to me, Spoolz. I know you rock with Griselda.
Yeah, I do. I like this project a lot. I think I was saying before the show, I think it's the best Griselda album of the
Overall,
year. Of the
just
year
of the year.
so
Of the
far.
year.
And that's saying a lot because there's been great projects dropped by West Side Gun and Conway. No, man,
Machine.
Benny's just sharp, man. He's very sharp. I mean, he's got all the, like, when you go down the checkbox of, like, you know, things. So if you do it like Cool Mo D style and you go down, like, the list of all the things that you need as an MC, I feel like Benny's got him. Or he's good. Or, you know, if you were doing a character in NBA Live, you know what I mean? Like, he would be, his sliders all of them would be up pretty high. And the production was really good on the project too. It just matches what he does well and what a lot of those Griselda cats do. Grimy, darker kind of shit. But no, man, great project. Definitely suggest people check it out.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to run this one as well?
I did. I didn't make it all the way through, but from what I heard, I mean, like I was telling y'all earlier, it just gave me like a late '90s vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a more polished, of course. I think Long, you were saying it sounded more modern.
It sounded modern to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
which it did.
Alchemist and Derringer did the production on it, I believe. So, but it's very 90s, but it just sound polished and clean.
Yeah.
Like not like clean, but it's still dirty. But
It made me feel like riding around in like a Jeep or a Range Rover or something with some Tim's on.
Yeah, great word.
Pelly.
It was great wordplay.
Pelly,
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah,
Okay, that's where it took you to.
that's the vibe it gave me.
Yeah. So shout out to Alchemist, man. Legend, man. He been picking dope loops for years.
It sounded good though. Like the beats and rhymes meshed really well together. Like
Yeah.
The
It's a very good pairing. And
Yeah.
of course Derringer was on there as well too.
Oh yeah,
so.
shout out to Derringer. Like they both have an ear. They have a great ear for picking samples for the Griselda sound across the board. Like you got to give those dudes credit for that because it just fits. Like everything fits. So yeah, shout out to them. I thought that was dope. Jid dropped the project 𝗀𝗲𝗄 too. I was surprised.
solid.
I was very surprised. Dude can rap. He cares.
Yeah,
I like that he cares.
He's got some cool features on there too. I think he had I think Black is on there. Method Man's on a joint.
Method Man and Joey Badass. That record is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that record's crazy.
Method
Vintage.
Man went off.
He did.
You're,
like it.
you're crazy.
I'm crazy. Yeah, but that joint was hard. I was impressed. Dude can go. He cares. I like
Yeah,
that he
he
cares.
said that Dreamville should be mentioned in the same breath as a TDE.
Not at all.
You don't think so?
Not
Quick,
at all.
you said that quick.
Not at all.
Why not?
I don't see it. I don't see it.
You don't see it
No, you can go
based
roster.
on.
Just go down the roster.
So if we do roster, we're gonna do Cole and Kendrick.
Yep.
So those are the comparisons there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what would Jid be?
I don't know. He's not.
Would you call him more than Schoolboy?
No.
You don't think so?
Schoolboy's a little different. I think Jid is.
He's more
is-
Absol-esque.
There you
but
go.
but topic wise, he's not.
Right. I just think top. It's just like when you compare teams, top to bottom.
Maybe what's the dude, the Sylvia Isaiah Rashad? Is he more
He's
along
dope.
him?
Nah, he's
Nah.
nicer than Isaiah Rashad.
I think Isaiah
think?
Rashad
I
is
think he's
more of
nicer than
a.
in terms of from a skill standpoint, I think he might be a little better. Than him.
Yeah, I think so. I like Isaiah Rashad though. Then you got Bass.
Yeah, talented.
He's nice.
Talented.
He's nice. I mean,
But if you think about it, you go Kendrick, Schoolboy.
Is Earth Gang's on Dreamville
Earth
too,
Gang is
right?
on there.
Okay. You got SZA. You know what I'm saying? You got
Yes, sir.
Sir, Isaiah
They're
Rashad.
definitely a deeper crew.
Deeper, but
I think their music is better, top to bottom.
I don't know.
I think their music is better, top to bottom.
I think Dreamville can come up. Like they're not quite as established as TDE yet, but they're
Right.
heading there.
It's a
That's
good
how I
argument.
would say it.
It's a good argument. Yeah.
Something that can be revisited, though. I would say that.
We didn't even mention J-Rock in that, and he put out.
And yep, I forgot about J-Rock. And his
Yeah.
album is one of the best albums of this year, in my opinion.
Definitely.
True.
So we forgot about J-Rock. So yeah, TDE still, at this point, I think they got the.
Well, I don't think he was saying that they didn't.
Mhm.
He was just saying that he feels like they should be mentioned
I'm not mad at
in the
that.
same, you know what I'm saying, pretty much in the same arena as TDE.
I'm not mad at him saying that. Like, you gotta have, confidence in your squad. Like, I put our podcast up against anybody. Like, that's how we rock. So I'm not mad at that. But I think TDE is still a couple steps, just ahead of where they are at this
But why?
moment.
Do you think just based on like people knowing them, or based on skill?
I'm talking about bodies of work, top to bottom.
So just
You
length.
go Kendrick.
Just length then.
Yeah, I'm talking about just heat, all the way down. I think they're more consistent in terms of the projects they put out. They got a lot of heat. Because you remember
is more new though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's
Is there a cap on that though? Does TDE hit a cap and then they can't go any higher, and Dreamville can come up to that cap? Would they? You know what I mean? Like,
that's a fair question. Has
and not even from like a skill or project standpoint. Like, is there
as a whole
can you really go up much higher than they are?
That's
right
a
now?
good point. I don't know if TDE perhaps they have maxed out.
I guess maybe if they get like a Korean pop star on their roster, that could be bigger. Because K-pop's huge.
Okay.
If Taylor Swift signs, maybe.
See.
But then
Huge.
Perhaps
then it brings your product down though. So,
It's definitely gonna bring it down. Perhaps they maxed out. We'll see.
Oh, I think it's a. I like
Good question. That's a damn good question.
I like Dreamville though. So
Yeah,
I do
shout out
too.
to _J.
Speaking of that's the reason why I was kind of pointing at the screen. The Joyner Lucas and what's his name? Spoolz.
Tory Lanez.
Tory
Tory
Lanez.
Lanez.
Yeah, they had a little spat last week.
It looks
I don't
like
know
it was
if
a
y'all
setup
listened to
spat
it.
though. It was like,
I don't like it when people spit on each other.
man,
It's
Red
rude,
August is
ain't it?
giggling on that one.
It's just not cool.
It's not.
Nobody
just
wants all that
not
saliva on that. That's the biggest fight
It's not
starter
a fucking
ever.
dart in your neck, man. It's just not cool.
Now I'm cool on that beef. I
You're
didn't
crazy.
even hear it. I just heard they traded a couple bars and called
You
it.
didn't check it out.
I didn't put too much into it.
Well, surprisingly, Tory Lanez can rap a little bit.
Shout out to my dude Dayton in Canada. He told me, Mike, you sleep. Tory Lanez actually can rap. He just do all
He can
that
rap.
stuff.
He can really rap. I still think Joyner is a better MC, of course.
Mike signed this Joyner too.
What's that?
Mike signed. He dissed Joyner Lucas as well.
Was that considered a diss when he redid his song?
Did he diss
Nah,
Joyner
I see what
Lucas
you
or
did
did he
there.
diss Tory Lanez?
Joyner Lucas.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
I thought he just redid the I'm Not a Racist song. I didn't know he dissed him.
There's an actual diss record that he put out. You gotta check the link on his IG.
I
did
see.
it.
Okay.
So
Well,
we'll see.
oh no, but then Tory Lanez he's feeling himself now, so he challenged Pusha T to a battle.
Oh wow. Everything was going good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even really see Pusha T as like a battle rapper though.
Nah, but he's very.
I mean, he's been in
he's-
beefs and stuff, but he's not like a battle rapper to
but
me.
he's smart and calculated, as we've seen.
Definitely.
And that counts.
As a rapper,
As
Well, I don't think
Yeah, I
this is
think
like
he's
a
always
battle
prepared.
rap. What did you say, battle or just kind of like a song, like songs back and forth?
that's a good question.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
a
he
good
can do that. Yeah.
He can do that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he can do that.
he's definitely going to do that.
I see where Lone is coming from. No talk. I see what he's saying, but I'm talking about the entire package in terms of what goes into it today. So, nobody battles anymore. It's like artwork, album artwork. What can I look up? What can I put? Subliminals. We throwing ice at your concert, running you off the stage. All this counts towards the battle. So,
like Ice Cubes.
perhaps
Or beer.
or beer, beverages.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they were throwing beverages in Toronto. We got anything from the
Sounds like a waste of money. Those beers are probably expensive.
I hate them.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Come on, man.
Probably at least $7
Not
At
cheap.
least.
for a Coors Light.
Definitely not cheap. We got anything from the community, man?
Probably.
Is that all the releases?
I think that's everything I had that was new
Let's
music.
see
Our local,
here.
I meant to mention
What did I miss? Local.
Distinct
Okay.
dropped an album.
Shout
The
out to-
Feeling Curo.
I'm about to check that out.
When
check
did
that out.
that came out just a few days ago, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm about to check that out.
definitely
Me as
check
well.
that out.
Yeah,
That
you can
sounds
pull the
good.
community up. I got one from here.
Okay.
So apparently, so there is a guy. He goes by Cool Ant. He walks into a Chinese restaurant asking for a fried cat. Didn't think it was racist. He did it for comedy. Was it not racist because it was a joke? He did get a lot of backlash from the Asian community and ended up apologizing. Also, are Asians people of color? That's one of the questions posed that they wanted us to talk about. So,
Okay, so it's
shouts to Melissa.
There's mad levels in that one. Shout out to Melissa. Mad levels in that one.
So we saw the video a little bit.
Yeah. That's definitely racist, in my opinion. A joke, just because it's a joke doesn't mean that it's right.
Racist prejudice is definitely prejudice.
More prejudice than
at
racist?
least.
Okay.
Prejudice and stereotypical.
That's where
that's
what
where
I'm looking
that's
for.
where the racist card kind of comes in because it's very stereotypical to make, like
To go in there and make that joke.
it's
right?
almost like a blatant comment. You know,
Okay.
like it's almost like saying I don't like Asian people. Not
Right.
not really, but it's like I don't know.
I don't think the joke aspect of it can soften this. in my
I think a
opinion.
lot of people try to use that angle. A lot of comedians have said that too. All these is just jokes,
Yeah.
even though it's being racist, it's being insensitive.
Right.
Everybody's not taking that as a joke. You have an establishment that know how to cook food. You come in there and say they're cooking cat and they're cooking dog. I mean, surprisingly, somebody could come from the back and want to take your head off over some shit like that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think it's very insensitive and it's not funny. We live in a day and age now where everything has to be recorded and put on Instagram and everything for views and likes and such. I mean, the shit's just whack, in my opinion.
I'm with that.
So
I'm with
the
that.
guy that did it was a black guy. And so, Spoolz, you brought up a good point. You said that you didn't necessarily think it was racist because of the power element there.
Yeah,
Which I
don't-
think is a good point.
I don't think it's racist yet. Right, correct. It is everything you guys said before, though. It's prejudiced and it's shitty and it's stereotypical and it's just not a cool way to treat someone at all. But technically, I guess with there's no I guess that's the question. Do you feel like there's maybe it is? Do you think there's a level of superiority there when someone acts that way? Oh, you eat cat, you eat fried cat.
Right.
I'm being funny, it's a joke, but you're still implying like you eat something I consider to be a house pet, you eat that.
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo.
So maybe it is racist.
I think the elements are there. Like I understand what Terry's
It's just
saying.
shitty,
Yeah, I understand what you both are saying in terms of the comparison from racist to prejudice. Like we always do that.
I mean, we're
Like,
splitting hairs
Split
at that
hairs,
point.
exactly.
I mean, it's a
Exactly.
fine line, you know.
Especially because of the type of comment that it is.
Sure.
But yeah.
stereotypical. I think Terry said that one as well. That's a big one because we all know how that goes, especially with this situation. But I don't think the joke. My thing is, I don't think the joke softens the blow as to what he actually said. That's my thing. Like people always try to pass that off. I'm cool.
Even
on
in the
that.
video, it's almost like he was trying to kind of hold back a little bit
Yeah.
once he noticed that the lady wasn't really feeling it.
At all.
Like it wasn't funny.
At
Nah.
all.
You
At
know,
all.
Like,
He probably just shouldn't have posted that.
Yeah.
He should have probably looked at him like, man, this probably ain't cool. Let me not do this.
I could definitely see how, people from, that community would be offended by that. No question.
See how anybody would be offended by that.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at
I
that
would,
either.
but I would definitely say that if it was a white person in that would definitely probably be racist. I mean,
Definitely, probably.
definitely, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say definitely or probably, but definitely,
Okay.
probably.
I like definitely, probably.
Yeah.
We can
Because
do
then you got the power element legitimately in there.
I think that's the
Yes.
name of this episode. Definitely,
that.
probably.
I think that's definitely probably racist.
Yeah. I
And
like
don't
that.
be a definitely probably racist.
Please
person.
don't be a definitely.
There was a second part of that question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are Asian people considered people of color?
I think
Damn
anybody
good
that's
question.
not European can
Not
be
white.
considered a person of color.
I think they are in this country.
Yeah.
Worldwide, aren't there more people from the continent of Asia than any other continent?
Africa.
Honestly, I don't know.
I would think. I think, are there more people in Africa than Asia?
I think so.
Asia's got China and India.
That's true.
I think I'm about to go with Spoolz on that one.
Anyways, so, but even then, it depends on what in what context. In the United States, yes, because
Right. Of course. Yeah.
but is people of color? Does that term, or using that? And I don't know the answer to this, but does it implies that superiority, or that race superiority, or that race division and classification that's
I'm
occurred
saying
over
it
time?
as far as
you know,
from a
like straight melanin
melanin
standpoint.
point
Right.
of view,
Yeah.
pretty much. I mean, if you're not originated from the Caucasus Mountains area or whatever,
Right.
you're demographically, your skin tone and everything was pretty much adapted to be different
Mm-hmm.
because of the different elements.
Then to that person's was it Melissa that asked that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Melissa's point, then your answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Unless she meant something else by that. I mean, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I guess it was probably in reference to that, and maybe
That's a
maybe
loaded-
maybe if it was racist
Yeah.
because of that element, maybe. You know,
That's a
basically
loaded
kind of what
question.
we were talking about. You know.
Yeah. That's a loaded question. That's a dope question. We appreciate you,
That's a good
Melissa,
question.
for submitting that one.
I would actually like
that's
Melissa's thoughts on this, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Melissa, post your answer if you wouldn't mind.
Please.
When you have time.
We can follow up on that maybe next week and read, her response or something, or put it in the community.
We'll bring
or something.
Melissa on the show, but she'd probably just knit the entire time.
She
She
definitely
would.
knit.
That might be a cool little side thing. Just have her knitting in the back.
She's in the cut knitting.
Just
Yeah.
knitting.
You should check
Then
out
she'll
her
say
yarn.
something every once in a while.
She's now. Don't get it twisted. Now she's cold at the knitting.
Oh yeah, she's
And
crafty.
that's why she does it.
Yeah.
She's
She
crafty.
Shout out to
She
Plank
would,
and Stella.
Plank
There
and
we go.
Stella.
Yeah.
Yep.
She
She
would
get
grace
busy.
us with her presence and knit. That'd be cool.
I have a hat that she has prepared for me that I have to go pay for and pick up. That I'm slacking on. I think she's gonna sell it if I don't get back to her.
Give
So
her
probably
goddamn
will.
money.
gotta get that bread over there. So hold my hat, please. I got another question. Shout out to my man Brendan. He put this in the community. Call him Akeem at work.
$3 will get you in there
I see you.
per
He
month.
says, "What are the most memorable moments in hip hop history?" The first one that comes to your mind, and this is just a general question for us who go around around the table. It could be anything. That's a real it's general, it's subjective. It's on your memories. For
I'll
me,
say one. All
Go
right,
ahead.
go ahead.
Huh? Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I graduated in 97.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time, of course, a lot of other hip hop shit happened. But I always think about Biggie and Tupac died my senior year in high school.
That's tough.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's tough.
those were pretty much the pinnacle of hip hop artists at the time. And that's just what I equate to my senior year a lot of time. Whenever I think of music and stuff,
Yeah,
Biggie and Tupac.
that's tough.
Yeah.
Anything come to mind, Spoolz?
I wish I was older and like grew up in New York City so I could remember like
Yeah, me too.
what was going on in the Latin Quarter and and who battled who and who showed up and did their first show here. I just don't know stuff like that, unfortunately. You just watch documentaries. It's fun to watch and find out about stuff like
That
that.
would be
Like when Kool Moe Dee battled Busy Bee and stuff like that. But stuff that stands out to me that when certain albums came out that people, when the Chronic came out, I think it blew a lot of people's minds. And
I remember
and
everybody
just how
was bumping the Chronic.
and how sonically incredible it was too, like what Dr. Dre did. I mean, it's a lot of Parliament samples. We all know that as like hip hop heads or whatever. Like it's a bunch of Parliament samples and
It
stuff.
is.
But like,
What he did
but he
with
does it
him, though.
incredibly well, and it sounds so good.
Yeah, that's definitely reminiscent of back when everybody had a system in their car
Yep.
Like everybody that came through the neighborhood was bumping the Chronic.
Stuff like
No
that.
question.
I meant, those times, those early '90s. When 36 Chambers came out. When
Yep.
what was the album we were talking about with Rusty, the Tribe album that
Midnight
just turned,
Marauders.
when Midnight Marauders, just stuff like that. When All Eyes on Me came out, that was big.
Man, that was tough.
I remember that.
I remember when Juvenile dropped his Ha video.
I do too. I actually do as well.
Yeah.
I bought 400 Degrees after watching that like 40 times.
I remember
Like,
watching it like, man, this isn't like a junkyard. He's saying the same word over and over.
and it wasn't like any video you'd ever seen before.
No, it was
Yeah.
just, it was like, wow, this is different.
I wish he had to pick better girls for the Back That Ass Up video, though.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
But those are mine, Mike, if you know.
Not mad at that. Go ahead, Long.
I would have to answer it from a personal standpoint, not from a historical standpoint, because I can't, like, Spoolz had a great point. Like, I wasn't there, I wasn't there when pivotal stuff happened like that. Like, I remember when certain stuff happened that was, like, big for me, but, like, but mostly it's around, like, finding stuff, like, oh, I found this. Oh, that was great. But I don't have any pivotal moments, really.
For me, it would be the Source Awards. Like,
that popped into my mind when we were first.
Yeah.
That's a good one, man.
the Source Awards for me, I remember there was a lot of stuff that happened at the Source Awards. We know about Snoop and y'all don't have no love for the West Coast.
The
and-
Outkast thing?
Yeah, the
Was that at the Source
Outkast.
Awards?
Yeah, the Outkast line. The South got something to say. To me, that's one of the biggest moments in hip hop history. Period.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Then you got Death Row with Suge. Like,
That was an epic show,
that's
bro.
what I'm saying. Like, I remember being like, yo, this is crazy.
Is that a big deal anymore?
What's
What?
that?
The Source
I don't even know
Awards?
if they do that
They don't
anymore.
even do that anymore.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, but the Source Awards stood out to me.
Because
Like,
the Source, is that still around or did it dissolve? And that was like Dave Mays and Benzino, right?
that's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still
I
out.
think the site's still up.
Is it?
Could be wrong, but
Could be.
They
remember
still
the-
giving mics.
remember the 50 Cent Kanye West thing?
That was big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was big.
I do.
Yeah, that was big.
50 Cent lied. He said he was going to retire if he didn't sell.
He retired a few
And that-
years later, though.
that
I
was
mean,
Curtis versus
He still makes music. He's still like.
Does he?
Graduation.
Yeah.
Was that Curtis Graduation? Is that what that was?
I don't
And
remember.
that was pinnacle Kanye.
Yeah, he hadn't
We ain't gonna talk about
Yeah.
it, but yeah.
you know,
I remember the epicness of when being in Chicago around the time when My Dark Twisted Fantasy came out.
man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking A right it is.
That's cool. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, but it's, for me, man, it's the Source. Easily the Source. So
I can dig it.
yeah, I wasn't mad at that. We got anything popping? Anybody got anything popping this week? We getting close to
Got
wrapping
Hip Hop
up.
Night Friday.
Okay.
You're featured.
Am I?
I'm on the decks.
How are you?
You on the beats.
That's what I'm talking about.
Indeed.
Nice. Maha 7th.
Plug that thing,
In the
man. What
place.
else is going on?
That's at Square Cat Vinyl, by the way.
Okay.
Hosted by Sunny Paradise. We got Chuck Mason, Sonny the Poet, Jetty and June, and Godson.
Guy?
No, Godson
Oh,
featured. But yeah.
word.
Okay.
Go
I
ahead.
don't have anything
It's awesome.
that I know of.
Square Cat Vinyl.
Square Cat Vinyl
Come through,
Friday.
Spools.
Friday
Fellowship
night.
on Friday.
That's Friday.
Friday night.
Word
That
up, man. I
is
might be able to get out. Maybe
cool.
Sarah and I will come check everybody
Yeah,
out.
come
Come
fellowship.
on out. Come on out. $5 holla.
Yes,
Word
sir.
up.
Yes, sir. All right. So let's make sure we pay these bills one more time for the sponsors. Coleman Dental, 317-255-8546. Shout out to Dr. Coleman. Make sure you get your teeth is right. Printfinity is always fresh to death out here in this community. You see the sweatshirt, you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
BringingDownTheBand.com, as always, is the hub. Indie, CD, and vinyl, they are really taking care of us, as we alluded to earlier, giving us the wax. We got a lot of dope things planned with them
Yes.
in the future. And as always, no bad ideas. They continue to lace us with that fresh product. I can't wait to get, the winter line is dope as always. So
That's
I'm
what's
gonna have to
We're
send him a message and go visit him this week.
yeah, that'll be fun. What time are you doing that?
Probably in the afternoon.
Shout out to Red August
They're-
behind the camera as always.
No
Doing
doubt.
his thing.
They're on your side of town where you work at too. They're on the west side, northwest
Oh,
side.
for real?
I want to mention something too real quick just because I see this playing.
Yeah.
Nas dropped that video
That's
that
what this
pretty
is.
much encompasses the album that he dropped with Kanye.
That's
it,
what this
right?
is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's called
And-
Nazir, right?
Yeah. And it actually puts that album in a better context.
The album's still trash, but I will watch the video.
That's why I'm saying watch the video
Okay.
Yeah.
and then maybe listen to it again.
Word.
You never said it was trash though.
I'm
This
sorry.
is new.
Subpar.
Okay, it's all new, but
Yeah.
go ahead. Brand new ass mic.
Subpar, man. Subpar. I think that's gonna do it for episode. Shout out to Lone breaking the PlayStation controller. I think that's gonna do it for episode 109 of the New Old Heads podcast. DJ Spoolz, DJ Jay Diff, Lonegevity. I am Major 7th, Red August, and we will see y'all next week. Peace.